You're listening to the Crew Talk Podcast, a conversation about chasing growth.
We can't start off like that. All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Crew Talk, episode 14. We took a little bit of a break. I went ahead and started med school. Surprise, surprise. But the guest we have today is my boy David, all the way in Germany, once again.
Midnight over here is trying to wake up a little bit. You know, I think last time y'all saw me, I was like living in a hotel, chilling. But now, finally got my place out here. Finally in full swing of work, playing American football out here. Found my little team, so just chilling over here.
Superstar. What position you play?
What you think, bro? Receiver and punter, baby.
What do I think? I was gonna say bench. No. But yeah, so this episode, I wanted to talk about chasing growth. It's the new model that I came up with for Vibes Krewe. And basically, like, chasing growth is just like trying to grow and become a better version of yourself each and every day. One of my football coaches said, if you're not growing, you're dying. So I thought that'd be like a good model to have, because most of the videos that we do, there's some kind of like experience that we're learning from, or it's making us think outside of the box. So yeah, what do you think about chasing growth?
You know, I think it kind of depends on like the kind of growth you're looking for, right? I think sometimes like it's hard to kind of take growth and say, you know what, like I'm gonna go grow in this area, I'm gonna go grow in that area. Like for me personally, I don't look at it as like I don't wake up and say today I'm gonna try to grow in some way. I wake up and I'm just like, you know what, I want to try a new thing, or I want to, like, there's this book I always wanted to read, I want to read this book, or I want to put myself in a situation to where I'm kind of like by myself and I need to figure out how to get out of it. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
more of like, instead of chasing that growth, it's more of putting myself in some uncomfortable situations and figuring out how to like learn something from that. So, I mean, it's the same concept as saying, you know, I'm chasing growth or I'm looking for growth.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now I just try to figure out how, as an individual, I can change my world and change the world of those around me, and basically be better than a person that went to sleep last night.
Yeah, so like small progression each and every day.
Yeah, most definitely, for sure.
I feel that. For me, one of the ways that like I push myself to grow is to like put myself out there and talk to new people, to like have conversations and learn more about like how they view things, like their perspectives, compare them to mine, and see if like I can learn things from them. Because if you walk around every day thinking that your perspective is the only one, I mean, you're living in a closed world.
Yeah. So, and I think that's tough too, because I think with a lot of stuff, and we don't have to get too deep into it, but a lot of things going on in the news right now, that type of growth is hard for me personally, because other people's perspectives aren't helping me grow in some instances. Like when it comes to the Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, hearing other, like it is important to hear other people's perspectives, so you have an understanding on, you know, how somebody's thinking that's opposite of you and your views. But also, and that is a way of growing, right? Because you learn how to deal with that. You learn how to strategically talk to people in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is, that comes with its own challenges as well, because
I think that there's definitely a difference between opening yourself up and just listening to a lot of things that are opposite of what you believe, and putting yourself in a situation where, even though something might go against what you think, what can you take from it and learn from it? Because even though, say, person A thinks this and you think that, that opening that conversation might change their perspective, not alone just help you to learn.
no, for sure. No, I could definitely see that. So, yeah, man, I could definitely see that. And I think it's interesting because it is important, especially when you have those conversations, because I think the problem is a lot of people always want to be heard, right? And they always want to, like, it's always that, okay, I hear what you're saying, but, or, you know, yeah, I get that, but it's like we're so quick to
that
create
butt be hurting.
exactly,
That be ruining the conversation.
as soon as they say but, you're like, bro, you ain't hear nothing I just said. Because like everybody, like usually what happens is people, they're like somebody will be talking, and the entire time that person is talking, the other person is creating that rebuttal in their mind. Mm-hmm. So it is important to listen to people and also have a comeback in some situations, but most importantly to listen and hear what they're saying and then react accordingly. But if you're always trying to get that rebuttal, then you're going to leave that conversation the same way you walked into it with.
All right. I feel like what we're talking about right now is, I would consider it mental growth because you're like stimulating your mind with someone else's mind. What's a form of like social growth that you enjoy?
Being in Germany, man. Look, I think this is one of them, and obviously a lot of people can't get this experience because I'm basically living for free in so many ways because the military has me out here. But man, this has been eye-opening, and I've only been here since May 23rd, and right now we're September 4th, and I think socially there's nothing like, and I think a comedian said this too, and I can't remember his name, but there's nothing more humbling than leaving America and living in a place that really doesn't speak English in a lot of ways.
I think I know what you're talking about. It definitely was a comedian because I remember something about it being funny.
It really, like, if you go somewhere, it humbles you because you realize, wow, like I'm not really that significant, and like especially Americans, and I've seen some Americans out here to where it's like we have this cockiness and arrogance with us. I mean, because everything's convenient for us, everything's easy, and I like the American way of life. Don't get me wrong, but coming here, it's like, okay, so what? You're an American, like. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm a German.
Yeah, exactly. And I've met some people, and because I'm trying to learn a language, I'm trying to learn, like, when I go to restaurants, speaking German to try to,
bridge that gap. To like bridge the gap.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I've met some people and we will talk, and I'll try to talk in German sometimes, and then they'll be like, "Why are you trying like so hard to do that?" And I'm like, "Cause for me personally, I feel like it's rude to say, okay, I'm a guest in your country, and even though I'm a guest in your country, you need to speak the language that I'm coming here with."
Right.
So obviously, I do have to speak English a lot because it is hard to speak completely in German. But on the football team, a lot of them all they speak is German, so they kind of help me out in different situations. But I think being out here, I've grown immensely, and I love it. And
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that you said that because I feel like America or Americans are the only people who don't put forth the effort to learn other languages for travel. So like I feel like every time I see tourists or people just who may be like immigrants, they have some like baseline level of English. It might not be that good, but I mean I can't go to many countries and speak the native language baseline. So,
but in our defense, like that is true to an extent. But in our defense, it's especially like learning how their school system is set up here. I mean, English is the international language. So when it's built like that, our school system doesn't really incorporate, hey, we need to learn this and that. Like, for example, what would be the point in us learning German in our middle schools and in high schools when there's only one country that speaks that language? And
that's
like,
true. But you have countries like, you have languages like Spanish and French and Mandarin that are spoken by like massive amounts of the world. Yeah,
for sure. And that's what we learned in high school. But then again, it's like our school system doesn't think about it. I don't know how your schools were, but I feel like from the moment I started learning Spanish until the end of my high school career, I felt like I was going over the same 2 chapters every single year. When we did it, we learned how to say, I like to do this, my name is, and I felt like every single year it was the same stuff. So
yeah, I took Spanish, I want to say 1 year, and no, I took it at my first high school.
Spanish at St. August, man, we could say that for an off-camera story because that was a trip.
But I feel like from when I took it, it was real. It wasn't even baseline. It was almost just like simple things that I wouldn't be able to have a full conversation with someone with the stuff that I learned in Spanish.
Yeah,
I'd rather be like, hi, red, blue.
Well, nah, and look, let me tell you, because Duolingo,
Mhm.
this is app on the App Store. Man, that has been a lifesaver because like it basically gamifies learning the language, and it's been a big huge help. So that and like here when I watch Netflix, I have German subtitles. But going back to the topic
Wait,
that we're
you watch the show in English with the German subtitles?
yeah.
That's weird. I've never seen someone do it the reverse.
I mean, that's because like I was thinking about it. Somebody said you should do it the opposite, but then I thought about I watch Narcos and I don't know anything that they say. Like I just purely read
Hmm.
the subtitles in English and I don't even really pay attention to the words they say.
I
Whereas
forgot that Narcos was in Spanish.
yeah, exactly. See, and like my thing is when I watch, like for example, I was watching Family Guy the other day, and they had the English subtitles, and I was able to pick out some words and relate it because like I know enough to see like the beginning and end of a sentence.
Hmm.
So when they're talking, it's like okay, well, so mailbox means this, then this is how you say mailbox, or this is how you say that. So I mean, it's been good for me in some ways, but I think going back to growth, I feel like there are a lot of things that I want to do, and it's not growth isn't just these formal things like I want to learn a language or anything like that. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, or really this week, I was supposed to be in Croatia during Yacht Week, and I like by myself. Like me and you were talking like off camera about, I literally was going by myself, meeting these random people,
Hmm.
and we were going to get a yacht and just be in the lake in Croatia. Like what? Like
Bruh.
that's to me that sounds like I don't even know. That just sounds unreal. I mean, obviously it is unreal because it didn't happen due to COVID. But man, I was so excited for that.
I remember like when you suggested making a video out of it for the channel, I was like, bro, that's perfect because I feel like the podcast is like for us to talk and to do like the intellectual like perspective version of like growth, but the videos is supposed to be like experiences, and the fact that like you said, you were going to another country, meeting people you didn't know, doing something you've never done before, that would have been like that would have been a #1 trending video in my opinion if people watched
Man,
it.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, COVID's not gonna be forever, right?
Right?
God forbid. Like, let's hope. But
Could you imagine?
let's chill. Let's not even knock on wood, man. Knock on look.
I got to.
Look, because next year is gonna happen. But for me, it's like the fact that even though it didn't happen, the fact that I had the opportunity to do that at 24 years old, and
Not
the
many
fact
people
that
can say that.
exactly, and the fact that like I'm down the street in so many words from Portugal, from Spain, from all these different countries, I feel like because there's some Americans that come here and don't travel. They come here and stay in a little bubble, and I'm just like, we're living what people dream of. Like we're literally in another country living for free. Well, getting paid to live here. And I don't know, man, you have to experience all that you can. But
I feel that I like personally, I like to save money and spend it on experiences. And one of the main experiences that I do is like travel. I haven't been all over the world, but I've been to a few places. And I just feel like if I spend $2,000 to go to another country, I make a video, I make experiences, I meet people. I mean, what spending that $2,000 on what else could compare to that?
exactly,
In my opinion.
exactly. Shit, people spend that on the TV. So instead of watching those experiences on TV, you can go live it yourself. And especially,
Exactly.
I think people need to take advantage of what's going to happen after COVID or right now. I mean, these ticket prices are going to be low.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, obviously Americans can't come to the EU right now, but when the gates open, I think people should really take advantage of it because being out, I mean, there are some frustrating aspects of being out here. Like you do get used to the convenience of America. There are no like 24-hour stores or on Sundays, everything shuts down. There's nothing you could do on Sunday unless like I go on basis and do something.
But that's part
Other
of the
than
experience.
huh?
In my opinion, that's part of the experience. Like
No,
if
for
you
sure.
just
What I like about one of the things I didn't like at first, but I'm starting to learn to enjoy it. There's something called quiet time out here, to where after 10 p.m. on every day, you can't play loud music, you can't do any of that stuff. On Sundays, they don't like you're not supposed to clean, work, You're not supposed to go wash your car, go mow your lawn, or anything. It's a quiet day. And at first I was like, this is so inconvenient. Like I want to go grocery shopping. I want to go do this and that. But then talking to my neighbor the other day, she was just like, it's this little older couple. They were just like, why you always want to go? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I got to do something. I don't want to just sit around. Like I got to go do something. And they were like, well, Sundays are meant for you to just relax and reflect on the week and get ready for the next week and just cook you a nice little meal and just sit down and chill.
I feel like when
I started doing that, and it's something small like that is just kind of life-changing in a bit.
I was about to say, I feel like things like that, things that we might overlook when they're like implemented into like the culture, completely change people's like outlook on life or like how they go about their day to day. So like if I lived a life and every Sunday was like that, my like not just me, but I feel like people's stress levels would be a lot lower because you knew that like at the end of the week, everybody's gonna stop and we can all reset.
Exactly. Because think about how we live, right? Especially fresh out of college and we're still young. You know, usually you have a full week. Friday, you either chilling playing a game or you go out.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, you probably sleep most of the day. Then you get ready to go out. And Sunday, you're doing everything you should have did on Saturday and Friday. And then Monday, you're going right back to the work. Whereas here, like for example, last weekend, what did I do? On Friday, I just popped some popcorn, had a glass of wine, like this Italian wine. It's Italian wine. I watched the movie. Saturday, woke up, cleaned the whole apartment, cleaned my car and all that. And Sunday, I didn't. I just chilled. And I think I won't do that every weekend, but it's just sometimes like that. It is good to rewind. I mean, unwind and just relax. So yeah. But how's your growth though with when you start mid school on this COVID schedule? Like, how do you feel like you're growing in that way?
I always felt like I was a pretty like structured person. So like before school started, I had like my entire week planned out almost hour by hour, so like I could maximize my time. But in the sense of it's stimulating like mental growth because I've been out of school for 2 years. So getting back into the swing of having to like do schoolwork and like have things to do and submit things and just the whole like testing process and learning new material is just a whole new experience.
But is this something, I don't know, like, are you one of those people that genuinely love that stuff? Like you love school and you love that structure?
No, I definitely, I like structure just because like things are predictable. Don't get me wrong, like spontaneous things are definitely fun, but loving school, no. Loving learning, yeah, I do. And this is like one of the first times that like I'm going to school to learn something that I want to learn that's going to be applicable to when I finish school. So
but what's the difference between you said you don't love school, but you love to learn? School is to learn. So like what is it that you don't like the concept of it?
I like learning things that are applicable to me or that like stimulate like a feeling to me. So like when we were in undergrad, I had to take philosophy. I wasn't interested in what people from 2,000 years was talking about that we proved is not true. But now I'm learning about how drugs affect different cells and how people with this disease look like this or have these impediments. So things like that interest me. And I find myself when like I'm doing like practice problems for the exam, like it's fun to like try and like figure out what disease this person has or what they need to cure this disease, things like that. So I feel like learning and going to school are completely different things.
Yeah, but I think that also touches upon your thing of growth though, right? Because like, I mean, we could look at it as like, I don't care about what these people from 2,000 years was talking about. But then also that gives you a different perspective on a lot of things too. Like, for example, like coming from my school, we had to take a whole bunch of engineering classes. And during it, I was like, bro, I don't care about none of this stuff. I'm a business major. I don't care about this airplane engine. I don't care about this rocket. I don't care about the electrical stuff. I don't care about any of this. But then something small as when I was getting work done on my car, this guy was talking about, yeah, we need all this electrical work done and all this stuff. And I was like, well, tell me about it. He's like, no, he probably don't. I was like, no, tell me about what you're about to do to my car. Right. And he explained everything. And I was like, wow, I actually understand what you're saying. So I think sometimes we take things away from those classes that we wouldn't have if we've never been in that situation. Like, if that makes sense.
I feel it. I think that like two factors that you kind of have to factor in. It's like growth is like timing and intent. So like the timing was perfect. Like you learned about something that would eventually like help you understand something following. So like you learned about the engineering, and then something was wrong with your car. But like I had no intent on learning philosophy. Like it was a requirement for me. So I feel like when you're forced to do something, like your retention or like your affinity towards it is going to be skewed. So like the fact that I didn't want to learn that, I don't feel like it helped me grow in any way. But if I was going to be a philosopher and the timing lined up to where I was taking philosophy before I became one, I mean, then it just works out for you.
No, I see that for sure. Most definitely. So
Yeah. I also feel like the whole online school thing, which everyone's going through, causes you to miss out on a huge social aspect of like, yeah, that whole thing. Because I mean, the amount of information that I've learned in the first 3 weeks is greater than like a semester's worth in a course that I took in undergrad. And the fact that like I don't have like that classmate next to me who I can be like, bro, I don't understand this, or like, can you help me with this? Like, it's completely changing like my approach to school.
you feel like it is better for you in a way to where you actually have to go out and seek these answers that you look for?
In that sense, yeah, but if I can't find the answers, then what? Then it's like I just wasted time looking for it.
It's true. When you're a master, so I mean, that gotta be a different beast. That's kind of why I don't know, I want to do my master's, but then again, being in Germany, like the schedules are all different. I am nervous to pursue an online degree at this point. That's why I think like depending on where I get stationed next, I want to try to do it in person. Like I even been playing with the thought like after this, trying to get stationed in England or something, and maybe going to Cambridge or Oxford or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had this man, look, speaking of growth, I had this dude. He was like I feel like before I say this, I think it's important to realize when you grow or when you have aspirations to grow in certain areas, like kind of like as cliche as it sounds, you can't tell everybody that because
They'll look at you funny.
Not only that, but it was just one dude who he's in Lieutenant 2 in the Air Force, but he went a different route, so he's like 27 right now. And I was like, yeah, man, I think I think after this I'm trying to go to England and try to go to Cambridge or Oxford or something like that. You know, that's a really good school. I was like, you know, I went to the academy, like I'll be okay. He said, well, did you make good grades at the academy? Like, I don't know if you'll be able to survive at a Cambridge or Oxford. You have to get in first. And I'm just like, first of all, I was just speaking out loud. Second, right. If you don't have anything positive to say, you really don't have to say much at all. He's like, no, I just want you to know what you're getting yourself into. I'm like, obviously I know what I'm getting myself into, but it's just, it went to show me like, in your mind, you would think like, you know, this is something to where if I was able to accomplish this would be huge. And this would be something that I would be able to look back and be proud of. And also it would be a huge growing opportunity for me. And you would think that people around you would be like, you know what, I'll support that or I'll help you. But that's not really the case, especially people like your colleagues. I don't know. I think people are more excited to see you fall than to really see you be up there.
Definitely. And that definitely plays into like my thought process behind making Vibes Krewe and like the model being Chase Growth, because some people don't want to see you succeed. Some people think like, why is he doing that? Like something that might really be like a passion of yours or something that you're interested in, you might go chase that and people are like, why are you doing that? But I'm trying to make that cool. So like we had a video when you tried to like conquer your fear of spiders. People would be like, if he's afraid, just let him be afraid. But it's cool to like push yourself to like get outside your comfort zone and to like experience new things. I had some people like when I went to Thailand, people like, bro, what's out there? Like, who cares about that? I was like, bro, that's a whole nother lifestyle. Like, I'll meet people out there, I'll learn new things. So the videos is definitely trying to bring attention to that.
That's important because I'm not gonna say his name, but like somebody in our friend group, like my best friend, his thing was at first was like, why you wanna go out there? Like all them white people ain't got no black people out there. I'm just like, man, it's an experience. I don't care. Like I'll go to shit, Norway. If I'm the only black person, then I'm the only black person. Like, if anything, that adds to the experience too, because you don't know anybody. So yeah, and speaking of spiders, man, that video was so appropriate because when I tell you, so Germany doesn't believe in pesticides. There are spiders everywhere.
Wow.
And we just got out of, I think we just got out of spider season or something like that.
It's a season?
They said between the end of, like, it's like the end of summer towards the beginning of fall, the males are looking for mates, and a whole bunch of male spiders just go all over the place. I had spiders in my car. That has, man, look, I almost.
Was you tripping, or did you feel like a little desensitized to it? Or you was tripping?
Man, look, because I was on the Autobahn. There's no speed limit. There's no speed limit on the Autobahn. So
But there's no speed limit?
Okay, hold on. On some parts, there's no speed limits. On some
I heard it was fast, though.
What?
I heard people go fast, but I thought it had a high speed limit.
Germany's the only place, like, there's parts to where there's no speed limit, and there's other parts to where the speed limit's there. But I was on a part with no speed limit, so I wasn't going that. I was like 110, going 110.
I've never driven that fast.
Man, the fastest I went was 130, and that's kind of where I capped it off. I was like, let me chill. But anyway,
do other people be like with you, or like you could just speed with speed?
I was going 130 because I was driving to Munich, which is like 4 hours away. I was going 130 on the left side, and there was a car flashing his high beam so he could get past me, zooming.
Oh, bro, that'd be a fire video, driving on the Autobahn.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, when y'all come out here, that's gonna be dope. But anyways, I was going 110, and bro, I don't see one. I see two spiders scurry across my dashboard. When I tell you, it took the will of God. Look, I had a spiritual presence in that car, because if it wasn't for that, me and you wouldn't be having this conversation right now, because I was about to flip that car, bro.
Damn.
But now there's my squad, like some people in my where I work with, they know I'm scared of spiders, so they kill them every day at their houses. They literally send me pictures. The spiders are, I kid you not, like this big, man.
Oh, that's massive. I don't like spiders either, but I'm definitely not like as afraid of them as you are.
I'm not afraid of them, bro. I just dislike them, bro.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't. There's a lot of things I dislike that I don't need a spiritual presence to be with me for. Oh man, there was one other thing I wanted to ask. I forgot though. Damn.
You write it down, bro?
I'm going like off the top now with the podcast, make it a little bit more organic. I think it had to do with like a video or something, but yeah, I feel like, oh, this is it. This podcast and the YouTube channel isn't like millions of subscribers yet, but a lot of people may listen to this and be like, oh, they chase growth. They're always chasing like a great experience. You can't overlook bad experiences too. So you don't want a bad experience, but there's so much learning that you can get from them. So say you went to Germany and it was a terrible experience, you would still come away with something, in my opinion.
Man, it was actually, like, I don't want people to get fooled. It's not like I got off the plane and I was having a great time. Like, after, like, the first month, I was like, bro, why did I do this? Like, why am I in Germany? Like, for the first, like, I didn't really settle in until maybe midway through July, and I got there May 23rd. But I was just like, man, I want to go home. Like, I hate this. Like, this kind of sucked. Because when I got here, the week after I got here, the George Floyd stuff happened. So I was like, I want to be home, part of that. On top of that, once I moved into my place, like, a lot of officers that I knew, because the thing is, I'm an officer, and then there's enlisted folks, and I can't go hang out with them on the weekends. I can only hang out with the officers.
Really?
A lot of officers because it's frat. So a lot of the officers that I know are married and have kids. So it's just like, I literally came out here, no family, no friends, and just genuinely by myself. Mm-hmm. And that's cool in some ways to where I can go explore and do my own thing. But there was a lot of times I was just like you felt that loneliness. And I felt like that experience was just like this kind of sucks in a way to where I feel like my heart was heavy because of everything going on at home. On top of the fact that COVID was happening, so I couldn't really do much, and I had no friends or family, so I was in a whole different country, so I just kind of felt, a lot of pressure, a lot of like, why did I want to come to Germany? And then I just took a drive one day, and I was just looking at the countryside, looking at all this stuff. I was like, okay, this is kind of dope. And then just once like settling in, getting my place, once all my furniture from home came back, that's when I kind of got settled in. But yeah, it was rough at first, but taking that experience of being lonely and realizing like this kind of sucks to be by yourself, I think that's when I grew the most, because it's one thing like because in that moment I was seeking comfort. I was like, damn, I kind of want my friends to be out here. I want all these things to happen. But then because I was so uncomfortable, I had to grow. Like I couldn't just be in my little shell. Like I had to say, you know what, let me go rent a car and go drive to whatever village this weekend and go see what that's about. Let me go to this cafe by myself, sit down and eat and say what's good to people. Like, and I met a lot of people doing that. I had some great conversations with some locals. I even like this woman and I think her husband or something like that. They sat down. We started talking about the Black Lives Matter thing.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that was, I would have never experienced if I would have just been like, this is uncomfortable. I'm alone. I'm going to stay in my hotel room and just chill. So
I feel like everything, maybe not everything, but things that are like worthwhile that people like desire, there's always going to be some kind of barrier to get there. So,
yeah.
I mean, moving to a completely new country for an extended period of time, if that barrier for you was only 1 month, I don't think that's that bad because you have so much more time there.
Exactly. It depends. Like, the minimum is 2 years, so I might be here for 3, 4, 5 years and see what happens. But
This
I
dude
doubt.
said 5.
Nah, I was capped. I ain't doing it. That's too long.
I got 4 more years, well, 3.5 more years of school, then residency. So, shit.
It's all good, man. We'll see. I'll see you out here next summer.
Well, definitely.
I'm telling you, we're doing Yacht Week next summer. Like, for
I'm
real.
not gonna lie. Yacht Week Greece might be the better one.
That's what I heard. But Croatia, man, like there was this hotel on the lake, big balcony. It was a huge, it was like a penthouse hotel, 120 euro, bro, which is like $160.
That's cheap, dude.
That's because COVID, man. I was about to live like a king, and then my commander said, nope. She was like, what you doing for next week? I was like, I'm putting in leave to go to Croatia. No, you're not. Croatia became a hot zone. You can't do that. And I was hot.
So, I think this is pretty good conversation, man. I think something that everyone should take away from this conversation is to seize the moment and like make life about an accumulation of experiences, bad or good. Because at the end of the day, you just want to come out a better person each and every day.
Exactly, and I think it is important to like, don't let people, I guess, make you shy away from your goals, or your opportunities for growth. Because like, if you want to go, say, whatever, let's go live in another country or let's go travel. Don't let people come to you and be like, why you want to do that? Or like, there's no black people here or like anything like that. It is so great to get out your comfort zone. I think somebody who should be on here too, or we could do it to where he's on like we could do it all together, is Trent. Because Trent literally picked up, I'm gonna go live in Australia, and he wasn't a part of the military. He wasn't doing anything. He just literally put his whole life on hold and said, I'm gonna go to Australia for a year, and he lived in Australia.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, we definitely gotta have him on here.
So,
all right, y'all. Thanks for watching. This is Crew Talk episode 14. I'm Tim. It's my boy David, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Yeah.